doing? How you doing, Freddy? I watch your show. I think it's very interesting. My brother and he lives in Yonkers. I live up in the Greenberg area, and he got me hooked on watching your podcast, man.
This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Monday, Yonkers. Talk a little bit about retaliation. Have you faced retaliation here in the city of Yonkers for speaking out? Let us know. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Monday. I want to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to be on too long about retaliation. And, And, what happens to folks who speak out and become vocal about, the city officials, the city, the current administration. Different things can happen depending on who you are. You're a business owner. You'll constantly find garbage being placed in front of your business. If you are an employee and you speak out, you may have the possibility of losing your job or having your job made difficult. Or if you're looking to run for office, your family members who do work for the city may get retaliated on, threatened to be fired. And in some cases, people have been fired simply out of retaliation. And I was talking about recently the female sergeant who responded to the bar fight, and I believe the bar was on Yonkers Avenue, between three individuals. Two of them were beating up another individual. I didn't show the whole entire video, but there was a part of the video that someone has sent me where she's trying to, separate them. She's trying to keep one guy away, but then the other guy's, beating up on the dude. So it was very difficult for her. I mean, I guess she could use taser, maybe her gun. She could have shot somebody, right? But, then there would have been a whole nother set of problems there. Today, I thought about this because today I noticed in my camera, well, I got to my office there and I saw that there was a box of beer. Like somebody just placed a box of beer by my door with 5 40 ounces of Budweiser that had not been opened. And I just thought that was strange for it just to be there. So I said, let me take a look at my my security cameras and see what's going on here, because I've been having issues with leaves being placed in the same spot in front of my business almost every day. And it doesn't matter what the season is. It could be summer, spring. It's not just fall. And there's not many trees in front of my business or around the business yet. And still I get constantly pile of leaves and garbage mixed. Like it looks like it's put there purposely, set there, by someone nice and neat in this pile. And so, I've been having this and I'm saving some videos and stuff for other reasons, when I need them. But today I found beer and I just like, what's going on here? So I want to show you this video. And look, I don't know. I could be going crazy, I could be paranoid, though people have told me to watch my back and that these things do happen. So you tell me. I mean, it's strange. Who would leave their beer? I mean, no one. I mean, we've seen videos of people doing some amazing things without dropping the beer in their hand. I mean, cups of beer, at sports events, people grabbing the ball. I saw one guy, I don't know if you saw this video, where he had a baby and his beer and still managed to make the catch. This video here shows an individual. He walks up to my door, places this box of these beers down, walks up to the pizza shop, comes back out with a slice of pizza. He looks down toward the box, and then he just crosses the street and disappears. His name is Danny. I found out his name, and I'm looking for Danny. I want to ask what this was about. Maybe he forgot. I'd like to return his beer. Actually, I don't have it anymore. I gave it to the pizza owner. He took the beer. He thought I was joking. I said, no, you can have them. I don't drink beer. But you tell me, what does this look like to you? I don't know. This is strange. This guy here. He looks like he's acting like he's pulling his pants up or whatever, then just walks away. There's a pizza shop on that corner there. He goes inside there. Then I sped up the video. He comes back out. He looks down. Then he starts eating his pizza. I don't know. Did he not want his beer? But why put it there? Why not take it to the pizza shop with him? He walks back toward the pizza shop. Then he comes back and he crosses the street. That's him there. Who's Danny? Anyone know this guy, Danny? I'm not sure why he did that and he just walked away. Never retrieved his box of beers. I mean, is this just, individuals trying to give me, a hard time, disrupt my business? I mean, they were telling parents that they had no more space. None of their vendors, this is the Board of Ed, had any more space for their kids. So parents were put on a waiting list. Although we had called the Board of Ed and said, hey, you guys only assigned us 3 kids. We have plenty of space. They told us the money ran out. So which one was it? Were there no more spaces, which was a lie? We had spaces. Or did the money run out? But we had already now a few parents who were told that that there were no more spaces with their vendors. And so when they came to us, and they came because they wanted to get their child in a UPK, so they were willing to just pay for it on their own. And we said, well, the schools give you 2.5 hours. We sent them to speak to this Board of Ed. Immediately, the next day in the morning, we had an email from the Board of Ed saying that they had been assigned. This happened 3 times now. The money didn't run out, I guess. There is space. So, I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't want to, make accusations or, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to just accuse people and just make allegations, but it's strange. It's very strange. Why would this individual do that? Why would I continually have leaves piled up in front of my business when it's summertime? It's spring. Where's the garbage coming from? I mean, I'm talking about styrofoam, stuff and all kinds of bottles, gloves that I have to constantly clean up. And so recently, and I'll be honest, I've just been pushing it on the street. I mean, obviously someone's not doing a good enough job because this garbage and leaves continues to pile up in front of my business. So, and then since I've been talking about it, actually, I haven't seen the leaves really much, but yeah. So what's going on? Is this a form of retaliation for me speaking out on my show, Basement Politics? And how many other people have gone through this? How many other business owners have had to deal with some form of retaliation because of issues with the city? I'm sure there are many, and I've spoken to several, and some people have been fired because of it. They're flipping up City Hall and every department upside down, trying to figure out who's the source. So people are scared. People don't want to speak up because of this. They don't want to have to deal with this. People have moved out of Yonkers because of this. I spoke to one lady. She said the best thing you could do is move out of Yonkers. Ever since I moved out, I've had peace. This is what she said. She tried to expose the corruption here in the city of Yonkers, but it just got too much. She was overwhelmed. So this is why this election year is very important. We must vote these individuals out. And now more than ever, we're seeing the corruption. We're seeing that potentially there could be some kind of a cover-up in the CJ Hackett death. The family is angry. They want answers. Things are not adding up. And some people know, I'm sure, have information, but are they going to speak out? Are they going to be, bold and brave enough to speak out and risk whatever it is that they could be losing if they find out that they were the ones that said something. So they are trying to damage the brand. Absolutely, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, that's why that video of me was put out on the Yonkers Voice, which had nothing to do with parents or my daycare center. And the guy that does the Yonkers Voice knew that very well. It was in the police report. We were attacked and assaulted. Our property was damaged. This was before my daycare was open or anything, but that's not how he presented it, because that's what the people he works for wanted. The city hall, to city clerk's office, to be more specific. So that's where the retaliation, originates from. And I'm sure, in my opinion, Zahi Jerris has, a lot to do with the retaliation. And I'm sure other officials, they don't like what I'm saying. There was a car, that I didn't follow me the other day. And I notice it. I mean, I do things purposely to see if this person's following me. I go slow. I'll do, unique, different turns, whatever. So yeah, I don't know if that's a form of intimidation. I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm going to continue to talk about it. I'm going to put it out there. And I'm going to continue fighting for change and speaking out against the corruption. I'm not afraid. I'm not going to back down. And I'm not saying that, it's not it's easy, but enough is enough. I've had enough. And listen, I'll continue to push forward. You want to play those games? That's fine. No problem. Just know that we're recording everything. We have cameras all over, inside and out. Anywhere that I go, my home, my office, anywhere, even my car now. Because I just don't know, who's going to do what. But although I must say that most people are very supportive. So, thank you for that. Shout out to the guy that I saw today. He was washing his car. And as I drove by, he goes, "There he is, Freddy Vazquez." And I'm looking, I don't know who this guy was, but apparently, obviously watches the show. And a lot of people do, because a lot of people agree with what I'm saying. Maybe not everything, but they agree with a lot of what I'm saying. And it's time for change. Enough is enough. Retaliation stuff it's crazy. Listen, my wife, I'm gonna have to just say it out there. I put it out there. I got to put it out there. My wife, had her boss come to her and say, "Hey, listen, they're asking for information on you. They asked me about you and everything." And I said, "You're great. You're doing an amazing job. Just continue to do that and you'll be fine." He goes, "But this is coming from the top, not the superintendent." This is what he said. And so I want to put that out there. My wife does an amazing job. Anyone that she works with will vouch for that. She has, come into the school district and has already, done some changes, has added value to this school district. And these are the, kinds of administrators and staff and teachers that we need. People that care and that love our school district and that will come and add value. And she's the assistant principal at Roosevelt within the special education department, which is a very big, section, houses a lot of, students with special education needs. And there's just a lot, that they need as well, and so, we have to really focus on our school district. Anybody that's elected this year should be thinking about our school district and should have a real plan. You shouldn't just be accepting of someone that says, "Yeah, we have to focus on education." Yeah. What's your plan? Specifically what? And how are we going to get there? Right? And that's very big. That's how we improve our community. We improve our educational system, our school district, make it something to be desired. That's how we improve it. But I want to put that out there because that's very real. That she has to work under that pressure, knowing that she's not just being, watched by her supervisor or her boss just for her job as, a regular job, but also because there's this added, pressure from people at the very top who want to see her fail. because they don't like that her husband, who has nothing to do with her in terms of politics, she has nothing to do with this, my show, my podcast at all. I did ask her, is it okay? I'll stop. And she said, listen, do you, and you're not doing anything wrong. And so you should never have to be silenced when speaking truth. And, what God has in store will be. And there's no one that can stop that, not even the Spano administration. And that is what we believe. But, that's definitely most certainly something that we think about all the time. And, and I'm just worried about what will they do next? What video will Yonkers Voice put out? What other article will Brian Harrod put out? So, and that's just what I've been dealing with. But I've made that choice to accept that. And so I'm okay with it. And I'm going to continue pushing forward. And I just want people to come out and speak out and support. The more of us that come out and speak out, the more we will break down that wall and, crash through that door and create the change that we so desire here. And that change we never said was bring in a bunch of luxury developments, right? And we're not saying that we can't use some development renovation of parks, definitely our school buildings, but how is that being done? I mean, they're just putting so many. We still don't have a housing ordinance. Maybe we'll see one soon. Who knows? But I mean, we should have had it in place a long time ago. There's a huge need, and they're just piling up all these luxury developments all over the downtown area, and then they're going to start moving east. And is that what you guys want to see here in the city of Yonkers? I mean, is that the change that we want? And not focusing at all really on the schools. What changes are you making there? Really, what's going on? So unfair for her. Yeah, it is. It is unfair for her that she has to work under that pressure, But, I respect her boss, the principal. I appreciate that because he said, listen, I'm not that type of guy. He said, you're lucky that I'm the principal because, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. So much respect to him for that, and I'm going to keep, I'm not going to, lie. You better just do your job. Obviously, if you don't do a good job, obviously, but, I'm not going to get involved with all that. Right. And, something that we've spoken to our attorney about. And so we're prepared. Again, this is stuff we're forewarned. I mean, even with the attacks on the business, I was forewarned by the Yonkers Voice. He told me this. Now he'll deny it now, but he did say that. He knows. He said it, that they wanted to hurt my business. This is already something that they were planning, thinking about. And so, now they're putting pressure over here, but, that was, maybe sometime last year that happened. So, nothing else has been said to her. And she just continues to, kick ass at her job and, do it because she loves it. That's what she loves to do. She's always done it and done a great job at it. And, she adds value, as many, I'm sure, administrators and staff who work for the Yonkers Public Schools do. We have a great set of, teachers, administrators, staff, and everything. It's just they're restricted, they're limited, they're not provided with what they need to really do an incredible job. And that is because our school is not really considered as much as other things are considered, because that's not part of the plan, right? Part of the plan is these developments and bringing in 22 studios into not just development, not just residential buildings will be going up or are going up, but you're going to see, and as Mike Spano said, there are going to be a total of 22 movie studios. There's the one that's being built already on Warburton. You got Lionsgate that was already built over there by the train station library. And then you're going to have one in Ashburn in the corner there, North Broadway, that big empty space that's been cleared, the fence around it. That's where I spotted Joe Cotter, the guy who's involved with all this movie studios. Right. So imagine when a movie studio goes up there, the kind of traffic Ashburn and North Broadway is going to have. I don't care about the people. I don't care about the folks out here. I don't care. Bring in the studios. That's all we care about. Right? Because the mayor, through his brothers, making a lot of money with the developers. The money is being made in approving all these developments. So they have to do it. That's how they make their money. It doesn't matter what the outcome is or what the end result is. It's just about the approvals. And they got paid and they up out of here. Right. So, and, people are left to deal with whatever the consequences are. And a lot of people don't like the crowds. A lot of people, even those who've been in the downtown waterfront area for 30 plus years, they had that building there and those are owner occupied. And they're like, wait a minute, This is not what we bargained for. All these buildings coming up, right? So this is something I've just been speaking out about, especially when it comes to the kids and the lack of stuff that they have for kids, and what they do have, sometimes is not really providing what's needed, right? And I've spoken out about that, and there was issues with that. People met about me, and I'm not sure what kind of meeting or what they were hoping the outcome would be, but I'm not going to be frightened, and it's interesting. I watched a documentary called The Holly. It's on Stars. I would recommend it to people, and it's about an activist who fights to save this area in the community that developers want and politicians wanted to redevelop. And so they set up these programs, these anti-gang programs and stuff that were funded by the federal government, but they were corrupt. And the guy that was leading it was a reverend, right? It's always these reverends, right? And he was leading this group of guys, but some of them were still engaged in in the streets, and he was having them actually go after real activists because they were fighting to save that, and the politicians didn't want them to fight to save that, right? So they wanted to stop the real activists. And so they were using these guys in this anti-gang program. So it's very interesting because it was all tied to corruption and stuff. And so, people have said things to me about some of these programs and stuff. And, at the end of the day, I hold the individuals at the top responsible, those who are leading, those who are funding and stuff. And that's why I speak on that. And, could that bring me any issues? Listen, it's not something personal, but it's, about doing what's right, making sure that if funding is going to certain programs, that there is a result and that the kids are winning, they're gaining, right? There's a change happening, and we see that. And so the money's being well spent, because many of these organizations, get this lots of money, lots of money constantly, right? And so it's, sometimes it becomes then political. And it's all about trying to get the funding. I want my funding for my things. I want, and the kids, and ultimately the people that are supposed to be served get lost. So I've spoken about that, and I know people were upset about that as well. And so my goal is not to upset people. My goal is not to go against people in the community. Absolutely not. But I get it when people have an interest, and they're gaining while this administration and all that is happening. They're going to say, they're going to have an issue with someone trying to break that up, right? Trying to break up the way they may be benefiting. And so, listen, it is what it is, and I understand their point, and that's where I come from. So I just want to, talk about that, put that out there. I don't want to be on too long, but just talk about the reality of retaliation and why people are scared to speak out. And, and I understand it, but I'm going to still encourage it because, ultimately, if we all start to speak out, it'll snowball into this big thing. And people don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people now speaking out even more. You see pages that have been created and to speak out about the corruption and the nepotism, right? Nepotism is a form of corruption. And so many of you are being, restricted from getting city jobs because they're giving to certain individuals. They're saved for, political favors, for friends, family, within this nepotism system. And so a lot of people are not able to get the jobs. So therefore, what do? Right? What other options they have many times? And people get discouraged and frustrated. I've been applying to DPW. They won't hire me. Right? I've applied to YPD and I've got skipped. They said, I'm going to go into this class. And there's been 4 years now, 4 academies now. And I've yet to, get called. Why not? Everything about me is good. I did great on the test. I don't get it. Right. And so, that needs to change. That needs to change. And that won't change until we change the administration. We come out and we vote for change. And we must do that. And, and I'm looking to really seriously, I actually did an interview today. Now, hopefully it'll be coming out soon. The guy's editing it and stuff. And I talk about politics and what my future plans are in terms of politics, because I think it's time that I get more involved and I get more serious and actually, put myself in a position where I can really impact and make real change, and really have the power and maybe the authority, right, to actually do something about it and end this corruption. End it once, I don't know, once for all, but, end it as much as possible. The nepotism, make the playing field level, improve our schools, which is number one, a priority. Our kids deserve so much more. Assure that our quality of life isn't declining, which it seems to have been. The infrastructure and our roads are just horrible. And sure, they have been patching them up, but of course, it's election season. Look at all the holes we patched, but it took so long to do that. I mean, the hole's been there for a couple years now, right? All the potholes, and how many of us have damaged our cars already? It's too late. Are you going to pay us the money for my tire, Mr. Spano? I'll take my $400, right? Can you do that? That'll maybe okay, right? But I doubt that's going to happen. So at this point, it's too late. We get it. People are, scrambling to try and look good. Patch up the holes, fix the fire hydrants, right? Look at the cadet program, put it out there, announce this, give that, go visit some seniors. All right. But that's all about the elections and people just scrambling to try and look good. Right. So we must vote for change. Change means voting for people that are not connected to the administration. Doesn't matter if their last name is not Spano. If they're connected to the current administration, they might as well be. So we have to be careful who we choose, who we vote for, right? Because people are going to be selling you a lot of things, but they have a track record. So forget what they say. Look at what they've done. Who have they catered to? Who have they cared more about? Right? So forget identity politics. Doesn't matter if it's a Latino, if it's a black person or it's a white person. Doesn't matter if it's a Republican or a Democrat. Unless you're in the Democrat primaries, obviously you have to vote. But I mean, in general election, vote for the best candidate. The candidate that truly wants to make change, that is passionate, that loves this city, that is not going to go in there and be just as corrupt, if not more corrupt. It's not going to be weak. And it's going to lead the city the right way. It's going to negotiate with these developers, MGM. Mike Spano's not the only one that can negotiate. Besides being mayor, where has he negotiated? Right? So we want to get a good deal this time, Mayor, from the casino. That last deal with Empire City was no good. We want percentage, MGM. We want percentage and bonuses. That's what we want. And so we need someone who's going to go in there strong and demand a great deal for the city of Yonkers in terms of the money we get from that casino, because they're going to be making billions of dollars. And we should be seeing some of that, a lot of that, I should say, money, right? A percentage, not a set number, a percentage. So, we have to really think about who we're going to vote for. And, petition season starts February 28th. So once you sign for somebody, I was told you cannot sign for no one else. So be careful who you sign for. Make sure that's the person you want to vote for. Don't sign for them because you like them, you think they're nice. Are they going to get the job done? Are they corrupt just as much as the current administration? Oh, they're part of that, right? How did they vote? We're talking about incumbents, or we're talking about people who have been council members or in politics already. What is their track record? Think about that before you give your signature away. And don't give your signature away just for a bag of food, because it doesn't matter who's in office. If you're someone that has food insecurities, you will get food. But what we need is the tools to provide people so they can do it for themselves, because there's nothing more rewarding than being able to provide for yourself and your family. So, we don't want to be kept dependent, right? So definitely make sure that, you give your signature to the right candidate. And I just may be out there collecting signatures myself. And I hope to see you, out there. Clean Yonkers up. Vote red. Vote red, vote blue, vote purple, vote pink. Just make sure you come out and vote, and make sure that you vote for the candidate that you feel confident will lead this city. Change, folks. Change. Think about the past 12 years. What have we really seen from this administration? What? I'll tell you one thing. The police department has improved, but that was because of the DOJ. Spano had no choice. He better have cleaned up that act. Then once the DOJ was out of there, what'd he do? He put Mueller in. You see that decision he made afterward? That goes to show his mindset. So, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it for watching, sharing. No, I do care, Danny, what you have to say, but I know what you have to say. I'm asking the guests that watching to whom you're referring to. I don't know what you mean. To whom I'm referring to what? You're ignoring the topic at hand. I was told by one of your guests to put up or shut up. Yeah, I have. Well, I don't know what you're referring to, Danny. I don't know what you're referring to. What I'm asking to this guest that is watching you now, to whom you're referring to, I'm not sure what I don't know. Maybe you're having a conversation with somebody else. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you for watching the show. I appreciate it. Continue to share. And thank you to all the new followers that I have been following the show. Been quite a uptick, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. May not have this opportunity again. If they win and continue to remain in power, they will only adapt and get stronger. And eventually we'll just have to leave. You ready to leave? All right. I'm not yet. Have a good night. I'll see you mañana. Folks, there's going to be a meeting at the city hall, I believe, in regards to oh, you know what? I wanted to show this actually. There's more comments on the Corazon article. Silvio has been closed for the past 6 months. I hope it opens. Has it? That's where Corazon did her announcement. Yes, Hezzy, what's the important announcement? Did she make a deal, drop out, and get another family patronage job? Don't get sloppy and let this linger. Her Spanish was awful. So is her English. Well, listen, my Spanish isn't the greatest, but as long as we can communicate with. Thought that was interesting. Anyway, folks, just check out the meeting tomorrow. I'll be discussing it. Have a beautiful night.
Freddy wins.
We're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be out there, Danny.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
First, I got to put some things in place. Got to get some things in order.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.
You know, they're going to be coming at me every which way. So I got to set some things up. You know who's thirsty? Mr. YV is thirsty. Have a good night, folks. My Mr. YV, I think you should call me. It's in your best interest. It truly is. No!